Hi everyone. We are going to discuss about the widgets in service now. So generally, what is a widget? You can say everything in the service portal, what you are able to see. Okay, these are all the widgets. If you see the header menu, you can say it's a one of the widget. Because of that widget, we are able to see every block of this page. It is, you can say, one widget. So service portal, you can say using pages we build the service portal, and you can say using widgets we'll build the pages. So without widget it's nothing in service portal. So what is a widget? You can say it's a main functional component of service portal. That is a reusable component. We can use the same widget in different pages. On the same pages also we can use a same widget multiple times with different configuration. So actually, there is only one widget, and you can use multiple times the same widget by creating a widget instance. So that we will see later. So today just we are more concentrating on the widget functionality. What is a widget? How the data will flow in the widget? Okay, what are different components in the widget? If you open in a widget, there are 4 to 5 components like HTML template where we can see the data, server side script, CSS, client controller, client side script, and controller add. This is a, you can say, AngularJS, you can say feature, like who is a controller. So let's go and create one widget. Before that, I will tell you like how the AngularJS will work in service portal as well. Okay, so let's go and create a new widget. The widget name I'll put like my first widget. ID should be without space. Okay, so this is the one. So these are the different components here. I will save this. And one more thing, like in service portal, the domain separation will not work. Who know the domain MSP plugin, right? So for service portal, it will not work on the service portal. So for the widget, you can write code here, and there is a separate, you can say, editor, like widget editor, just to work on the widget. So today we'll see what are different components in the widget and how the data will flow, how we can get the data from server, how we can show in the widget. So widget has, you can say, HTML template, CSS, SCSS, client script, server side script, and link function. So HTML template where we can write HTML, you can say tags, code to display the data. The data can be static, can be dynamic. The dynamic data we need to take from server side script. So server side script where we can write a glide record and all. Then we have client side script where we can call the functions, where we can write a client side code. Then link function, again it's a kind of a client side functionality. If you want to do some DOM manipulations, we can use a link function. Then we have CSS. So in CSS we can write a CSS. That's it. So let's go first, like, so in service portal you can say Servicenow is supporting, you can say, AngularJS libraries. It is built in libraries you can directly use here. So just to give one example, so let's write my first widget. This is HTML. Okay, there is another one option for widget. If you click on this hamburger icon, you can see here enable preview option. If you click on that, you can see what you are writing that is correct or not while developing the widget in the preview section. So it's a div. Just click on this. Okay, I need to save this. So my first widget. Okay, here just I will write use h3 enter your name. And after this, let's go for input text and okay. So ng model. So what is the ng model? It's a directive in the AngularJS which will you can see using this we can go for the two-way binding. Okay, how to do that? So ng model, I will first write the value of this variable. Just I will write first. This is input, and I will put into and here I will use ng bind equal to first. And let's save this. So you can see whether the AngularJS library is supporting or not. So if I write here Rahul, so this is a two-way binding, right? You can see here. So this is how you know like okay AngularJS is working. Now the thing is that how we can transfer the data from server side to client side. So let's go here. I will just write a variable var first name equal to Rahul. For now, I will comment this section. Okay, and Rahul, if you want to transfer, okay, for this, I will write a general function here. Instead of this, we'll talk more on this. So var c equal to this is actually a controller. We can use instead of c, we can use any variable. Make sure that when you're changing the controller here, you should modify here as well as a controller as c. Instead of this, you can write any variable here. And the current object we are just copy pasting into c. So if you have to transfer this Rahul1 user to HTML, we need to use a object, that is data object. So data object is nothing but if you want to transfer the data from server side to client side, we need to use this data object. So I will write data dot name equal to first name. So this data dot name can be accessible in client side using this object c dot data dot name. So I will again put another div and how to use AngularJS variable. Now client side variables like in double parenthesis c dot data dot name. So let's save this and let's see how it will work. It's coming as Rahul one, right? Use some VR. So to transfer the data from server side to client side, you need to put that variable value, okay, value in a variable data dot some variable name that we can access in the client side, that is c dot data dot. With that we can use only data dot variable name as well. Data dot name we can use in this way also. So when we need to use c dot and when we need to use data dot, that just I will tell you. So you got it now. If you want to use a value from server side to client side, you need to use a data dot name. Okay, here you can write glide record as well. We can use a glide record. We can store that data in an array or in a string. using data object. So what if you are defining array p, you can use data dot p. The same thing we can access here, c dot data dot p. Okay, so why c? It's a controller, that's why we are need to use. So this is how we can transfer the data from, you can say, server side to client side. Now if you want to send some data from, you can say, client side to server side. And now we have seen server side to client. If you want to transfer the data from, you can say, client side to server, how we need to do that? So for that, just let's say example, like if you put like here ng model first, right? So if what you are writing here, we'll put one button here. If you click on that, this should present in another div, if you want to do in that way. Okay, for now just I will comment this. Okay, let's go for this example. Like there is an input text ng model first, whatever you are putting in this input, it will store into this variable. If you want to send some data from client side to server side, you need to use that variable as c dot data dot that variable name. So I will put there profile name. Let's go with this. Okay, so profile name, what I'm putting like in this c dot data dot profile name. So what you are putting, that will come as a c dot data dot profile name, and after that I will use button. Let's submit. Okay, and I want to, if I click on that, so I need to call one function. I will use ng click. So ng click is again a AngularJS directive. So to call the function again, that I need to call the function means I need to write in client script. That function name should again start with C only, because that uh, will write that function in the client script. So using C dot that function, just I will put send data. So what we need to send to them? So we need to send them this data. What is that? C dot data dot profile name. So this data we need to send to server side. Okay, so this is how we are writing c dot send dot data. And now after writing that, we need to write this function, that c dot send data. So I will write a function here, c dot send data equal to function. Okay, so what I need to write here? So I will get some value here. I will put suppose uh, temp. Okay, so now I'm getting some value here. So now this data, so client shape and HTML is a tightly coupled. We need to send to server side. Okay, for now just I will remove the preview. We need to send to the server side. To send the data, whatever the update is happening in the HTML, to send this modified data to server side, we need to call a function that is c dot server dot update. So this will what will happen, the every object what you have modified, okay, and which you are storing c dot data dot variable name, all this data will get updated at the server side using this function, that is c dot server dot update. And after this we can use this profile name variable in server side using input dot profile. So this I will store in var p name equal to this, and after this var p name equal to input dot profile. And I want to see that, okay, what is this here? Here we can write console dot log to just print this data p name, or we can write, you can say gs dot also, gs also we can use here. So console dot log p name. Okay, but I want to see on the front end also. What I will write then? Data. I will write data dot second name equal to okay, second name equal to, I will just put p name, and this second name I will just print in another div, that is, I need to use from server side to client, right? So I need to use c dot data dot second name. Let me see, second name, there should not be a spelling mistake, right? So just save this. So let's see how we can see on the screen. Right, it's loading. Okay, I will just write mega. I will just click on submit. Okay, I got the mega. Let's go for the console also. Right click, go to inspect element, and you can see in the console, so you got mega. So I think this undefined is in from other source. Just we need to save the mega is coming or not. So you got it right. If you want to send some data from server side to client, you need to use data dot variable name. If you want to send some data from HTML to server side, we need to use input object in the server side. But every time we need to use c dot server dot update. We need to do every time. Just see in the, you can say in image. So HTML client script, server side script. If you want to pass some data from server side to client side, you need to define that variable using data dot first name. In client side, you can access that variable using c dot data dot first name. In HTML also, you can use c dot data dot first name. If you want to send some data from, you can say HTML to server side script, you can use c dot data dot second name. If you put some value here, if you want, you need to do c dot server dot update. It will just update all the variables which you have modified in HTML. And server side, you can use that modified variables using input object, that is input dot that variable name. So input has some different meaning as well. Suppose like what is the input again? I just want to tell you what is the input. Suppose you can say input is the object where we go, if we modified some data in the client side, if you do some action in the client side, and after that if you want to do some actions in server side, in server script, okay, so that time we can check whether the input has a value or not. If input has a value, means we got the input from the client. If you want to load some data here in the server side script before, okay, getting the response from the client, you can use one function, that is if not input. If we are not getting an input, this is like first will, this will run first, okay. And if you want to do some action item when user will do some action at the client side, so that time we can use if input, we can do some action. So for example, I will just put one console. Okay, I think you are okay with this. I will copy with the same script in my blog, so you can copy paste the same script what we have done till now. Okay, so to input, just I will use this. I will first comment this code. Okay, I just want to show you input. If input, right, console dot log, there is the input. Okay, and else there is no input. Okay, let's save this and we'll run once. So let's see, now we got something just in inspect element. There is no input. If I put something here and if I submit, so see, still now this c dot server dot update didn't call. Okay, we didn't call. If I click on that, it will get call and there is an input now. So this is how we can use the input object. Okay, so this is how you can say we can work on the widget. Okay, we can use again I told you any server side script. I can put a server script like, okay, where user equal to gs dot get user dot get name. If you want to show this one at the at you can say HTML. Okay, whatever we are writing here, see, when the page will load or when the widget will load, first it will run the server side script, then it will go to the HTML. Which server side script you can say in the else part, what we are writing here, or the above part. In input block, this will run when we'll get an input from the client, when this actually function will get executed. Okay, so user dot that, so I want to transfer this username in the use, you can say in HTML. I'll use data dot user equal to user, and in the I can write here div c dot data dot user. Just run one more time. So it will exist the admin. So it is getting an admin because I just log in as a system administrator. So this is how the widget will work. My next session will be like how we can load the incidents of a current if the user current users all incident, how we can display in the HTML. If you click on that, other information will get pop up. Okay, how to use different APIs in this client script. Okay, how to show the alert. This is not, you can say, general client script. Here we need to use some APIs so that we can you can show the alert kind of box, a dialog box. Second thing, how we can use, you can say, URL parameters, how we can send a data from one widget to another widget. So that we will take in the next session. So this is just a basic of widgets. Okay, you can also go through this you can say block where I have written some client script and server side script. You can just see like how it will go. Okay, I just copy paste the same you can say link in the video. Okay, please let me know if the feedback on these videos as well. Okay, thanks you, have a nice day.